But look at how long. 5-time, 7-time All-Star. She been in the league 7 years? Bro, how come ain't nobody know about A'ja Wilson until Caitlyn got here? I'm just saying. If A'ja Wilson was this damn good, this dynamic of a player, why come the viewership is the way it is? Now, why come we didn't know about A'ja Wilson 7 years ago, 6 years ago?
Officially, A'ja Wilson is losing it. The basketball world was shocked to learn that Caitlin Clark is valued 10 times more than any player in the WNBA, according to a startling new report from the Saudi League. While the league's MVP is sitting there wondering how she suddenly became a side note, foreign sponsors are referring to Clark as a billion-dollar engine for women's basketball. Clark's value isn't just surprising. For everyone who believed that the WNBA was the pinnacle, this is embarrassing.
Numbers that have kind of been thrown around on what kind of contracts they could offer some of these players, and 50 million was one of the numbers that they could reportedly throw at a player like Caitlin Clark.
So how did an Iowa sophomore become a global financial powerhouse? And why did A'ja go utterly crazy over it? The Saudi report quantified authority in addition to listing pay. The league had been concealing a terrible reality for months when those numbers began to decline. Not only is Caitlin Clark the most valuable player, the brand is her. Clark controls the planet, but A'ja might own the paint. Millions are moved just by her name. Ticket costs, sponsorship agreements, and jersey sales. It prints money if her name is linked.
A'ja Wilson to Bill Russell and... Bro, if the Indiana Fever had Caitlin Clark, hell, not even Caitlin, had Kelsey Mitchell not got hurt, I believe the Indiana Fever would have beaten the Las Vegas Aces. Tell the whole story. Like, don't get up here trying to sit up here like this is a dynasty of a damn team and all this and that because they went on their little winning streak. I don't want to hear none of that shit. If the Fever was the Fever originally, the Las Vegas Aces will not have a championship. They stole this one. This is the last one they're going to get for a mighty long time.
According to the report, international marketers are lining up to affix their insignia to Clark's image, and her estimated market worth in Saudi Arabia's new women's league may reach $50 million annually. A'ja's serene facade broke at that point, because we're not discussing some random player here. A'ja Wilson is the current MVP, a 3-time winner, and the embodiment of Las Vegas supremacy. She has worked tirelessly to gain respect and earned her stripes. Perhaps A'ja Wilson ought to pose a different query rather than being envious of Caitlin Clark. Without Caitlin Clark, will the WNBA continue to exist? Tell us in the comments section below.
This is much bigger money than any other country has. And if you think for a second that they won't pay $50 million, $100 million, who knows, maybe $200 million to a player like Caitlin Clark, is there an amount of money that is just too big to pass up?
However, after just one season, Caitlin Clark is being hailed as the financial messiah of basketball. The timing couldn't have been worse. Nike had already secured the largest sponsorship in women's basketball history, a record-breaking $28 million deal. But there was stillness following the major news. Nothing at all. No rollout, no signature sneaker, no ads. Additionally, nothing became loud.
Things are up 300% since Caitlin Clark entered the league. Her games averaged 1.2 million viewers. Her return game peaked at 2.8 million viewers on ABC, one of the highest ever. This is in the middle of a random game in the season. She's featured nearly half of the most watched WNBA games, period. And I would argue that she brought a lot of attention to the league in and of itself, not just her. Clark is responsible for 26% of all WNBA economic activity. She's expected to help drive $875 million to $1 billion in 2025 revenue. The Fever's franchise value jumped from $900 million to $340 million. Oh my God, they need to pay this girl.
Why would Nike hand out that kind of deal then disappear? Fans began to murmur. There were rumors that Nike was afraid of the reaction if they awarded a white rookie her own shoe before A'ja Wilson, their longtime MVP caliber talent. At that point, A'ja published her now famous cryptic post. What's delayed isn't denied. Everyone knew who it was about, even if she didn't give names. Translation: I'm sick of being disregarded. Additionally, Just one sentence ignited social media. The internet divided into two halves. Half said that the game benefited much from Clark's ascent. Favoritism, according to the other half. Evidence of who is crowned by the media. However, beneath the noise, the actual strain surfaced. What really sells in women's sports, marketability, and race. History was brought up by analysts. How, in the 1990s, Sheryl Swoopes became the first female recipient of a signature Nike shoe. An innovative moment. However, almost all women who had shoe lines since then were white. Thus, it didn't seem like progress when Nike crowned Clark before Wilson. It seemed to be repeating itself. The next shocking revelation followed. According to leaked information, Nike is postponing Clark's shoe release until 2026 for optics. They allegedly didn't want to offend WNBA supporters by releasing Clark's line before Wilson's. If that were the case, Nike would have frozen in an attempt to satisfy everyone while failing to satisfy anyone.
And become a player. Why come the viewership is the way it is? Now, why come we didn't know about A'ja Wilson 7 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago? Why come we ain't know about her then? Why we ain't know about A'ja Wilson then, bro? I don't want to hear none of that. If it wasn't for Caitlin Clark, when nobody care about A'ja Wilson, bro? When nobody care, bro?
In the meanwhile, optics were unimportant to Europe and the Middle East. They noticed dollar signs. Clark's highlights were popular in a number of languages. Fans abroad were practically pleading with their clubs to sign her for the offseason since her name was selling out US arenas. Asia's annoyance erupted at that point. She had just guided her team to yet another successful season. Nevertheless, Caitlin Clark was brought up in every discussion, every talk show, every headline, every sponsorship conversation. Asia's supporters retaliated, arguing that she should be treated equally, that she is the cornerstone of the WNBA, and that her success was won via titles rather than publicity. But emotions don't matter to numbers. Caitlin Clark was sketching more than everyone else in the league. It was validated by the Saudi assessment. Her fan base, commercial appeal, and worldwide influence outstripped everyone else's. There was more to this than just 2 stars. The question grew more complex. What constitutes demand, domination, or value in sports? Wilson observed a newbie bypassing the queue, while the rest of the world saw something very different: the first real worldwide women's basketball superstar. Then, the unexpected turn of events occurred. Nike eventually eased the tension after months of silence. They revealed that A'ja Wilson's long-awaited signature sneaker, the A1, will be available in 2025. Fans rejoiced as if it were confirmation justice was finally served, but then the truth came out. A'ja has been aware of it for 2 years. She had been bound by a non-disclosure contract that entire time. As a result, A'ja already had a deal in place, while supporters engaged in online arguments against her, accusing Nike of being disrespectful and biased. The plot was completely turned upside down by that discovery. It implied that rumors and poor timing had been the source of the alleged rivalry, fury, and outrage. She had not been rejected by Nike. The campaign was simply moving slowly. However, it was irrelevant at that point. The icon had already been selected by the public. Caitlin Clark was solely responsible for the momentum. While Nike handled internal politics covertly, Clark was actively changing the course of basketball history. She did more than just sell jerseys. NBA venues were being sold out by her. Her games become occasions. Networks battled for the right to broadcast. Colleagues from other countries began flocking like sharks, including the Saudi League, which was willing to part with life-altering funds in order to get her on their court. As a result, A'ja Wilson's sneaker wasn't a huge success when it eventually went on sale. Like a footnote, it landed, because the story was already set, regardless of how large her brand became. No one is being pursued by Caitlin Clark. She is being pursued by the entire world. And that's what hurts the most, because the paycheck was never the only consideration for A'ja. It has to do with validity. Despite years of effort, 3 titles, and numerous MVP awards, Clark is still the talk of the town. The person who didn't wait for her turn. The person who altered the rulebook and disrupted the system.
WNBA has become the laughingstock of all sports, man, because the ticket prices are horrendous. This is a championship game, dog. The Las Vegas Aces versus the Phoenix Mercury. And I'm telling you right now, this is probably going to be one of the lowest rated WNBA finals in a mighty long time.
The WNBA finals fell apart. Fans are shaking their heads as they leave arenas, and tickets are essentially being distributed like coupons. What became of the league that boasted about its unprecedented expansion all summer long? How did the sold-out crowds give way to echoing bleachers and $6 championship seats? And why is Asia blaming a single, non-existent individual?
Tangled web we weave when we choose to deceive. When are numbers not what the numbers are when you see them? Oh, sure feels like there might be some funny business going on. Is there a little nasty work going on behind the scenes? A little abracadabra bewitched action? Hey, Stephanie White knows this one. Yeah, she's conjuring up ratings for the Aces and the Mercury.
This is the unpleasant reality. This has nothing to do with a single irate player. It concerns a league that has been deceiving itself since May. The WNBA created the appearance of unstoppable momentum for months as the foundation of their whole marketing strategy. New energy, new sponsors, and new supporters. However, the magic vanished as soon as Caitlin Clark was removed. The historic finals are now a ghost town. For a championship game, the Las Vegas Aces Arena, which used to seem like the most sought-after venue in women's sports, is unable to even fill half of its seats. The stands appeared more empty than a mid-season scrimmage for 2 consecutive nights. The cost of the ticket is $25. A few even fell below $6. You may spend more money wearing a Caitlin Clark t-shirt or a parking ticket rather than a real seat.
The controversy that led up to this game is pretty much attached to Caitlin's name. That is the Las Vegas Aces actually knocking off Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Well, Caitlin did not play, but we know the referees kind of had a hand in that, we should say, with kind of making sure the Las Vegas Aces was pushed to making it to the final.
It's bizarre. The league that once boasted of record attendance now appears to be holding a clearance event. Wilson's response was one of utter annoyance. She's blaming Clark and her followers for killing the energy rather than trying to figure out what went wrong. That's the twisted thing, though. The initial buzz was created by such fans. Everything changed the moment Caitlin Clark set foot on a WNBA court. Overnight, ticket sales skyrocketed. Teams that couldn't even fill half a gym experienced sellouts all of a sudden. Every broadcaster in the nation wanted a piece of the action, and merchandise sold out. Clark was more than just a basketball player. The league became a cultural sensation thanks to her. However, too many people in the league treated her like an intruder rather than celebrating her. Commissioner Kathy Angelbert sat quietly in the corner, trying not to see, while players stewed with rage over jealous fouls, spiteful social media posts, and snide interviews.
It's officially Game 3 of the WNBA Finals, and news has broke that you can get into the game for tickets as low as $10. Yeah, no. Your speakers on your laptop or your phone are working perfectly fine. You heard me loud and clear. You can get into Game 3 of the WNBA Finals for $10. This is craziness. It costs more than an In-N-Out cheeseburger with an animal fry and a small lemonade. This is wild. The WNBA is being accused of posting fake ratings for Game 1. This is madness, yo.
The bill is now due. There wouldn't be any excitement or spark without Clark. It seems like a wake during the finals. You can actually count the vacant rows behind the analysts as the camera pans the crowd. To break the quiet, the television crew keeps raising their voices. It doesn't feel like a victory. It seems like a publicly accessible scrimmage. That's a harsh reality check for a league that has been yelling development all year. Examine the receipts. Thousands of dollars were spent on courtside seats when Clark's Indiana Fever played the Aces earlier this season. There were hardly 500 seats in those same seats at the finals. Even those aren't selling. Social media is making fun of the league, featuring images of ticket maps covered with blue dots. "You can buy final seats for the price of a Big Mac combo," was one of the comments that went viral. "The silence in this arena is louder than the referee's whistle," another person remarked. Everyone knows what's missing deep within, which makes it both tragic and humorous.
This was posted here on Legion Hoops. You can watch Game 3 of the WNBA Finals for just $10 tonight. That's cheaper than ESPN's subscription to stream the game at home. You could spend more. You spend more money streaming the game at home than you do going and actually seeing it in person. This is wild.
The expansion of the WNBA was not natural. The Caitlin Clark effect was to blame. She was the reason advertisers cared, casual viewers tuned in, and the league trended on ESPN rather than being obscured by minor league highlights. She brought valuable mainstream importance to women's basketball. The league handled her like a problem to be contained rather than safeguarding that. These finals seem lifeless because of this. The audience that made the WNBA relevant became disenchanted with it. You can't expect Clark fans to purchase tickets to the finals when she isn't even present after making fun of them for months. Fans remember things for a long time. They witnessed the eye rolls, the jealousy, and the harsh fouls. They witnessed the commissioner remain silent, the referees swallow whistles, and the veterans make fun of her after games, all the way through. They stopped participating after witnessing the sport become antagonistic toward its greatest attraction. Kathy Angelbert, meantime, is still out there grinning for the cameras and claiming that the league has never been stronger. Really? It's not strength when your finals ticket is less expensive than 3 games at a bowling alley. That is embarrassing. Players are beginning to break ranks as well. Sophie Cunningham alluded to the disconnection of leadership. The same annoyance has been expressed by Nafisa Collier. The obvious fissures are rapidly getting wider. The meltdown of Asia Wilson is not a coincidence. It is a sign. It's what happens when the biggest star in the league discovers that no one is looking at the trophy she's clutching. Yes, she is furious, but she's furious with the incorrect person. Caitlin Clark is not to blame for this. This is the league's inability to comprehend why supporters initially turned out. Clark was more than just an increase in ratings. She was a force for change. She stood for energy, hope, and a new generation that genuinely supported women's basketball. Veterans of the league did not accept it. They were angry about it. They are currently playing in half-empty arenas as a result of their animosity. Fans remain devoted to people, not to slogans. Additionally, those fans felt unwelcome when the league portrayed Clark as the antagonist. You cannot disparage their favorite player for 6 months before pleading with them to get finals tickets, merch. They have moved on, and the WNBA is solely to blame. Instead of celebrating victories, Asia Wilson, the most well-known player in the league, is now standing in front of microphones attempting to explain empty seats. Despite being the current MVP and 3-time champion, she continues to lose the narrative. Authenticity sells because the truth is straightforward. And the only thing the league had left at the moment was Clark's genuineness. Caitlin Clark was the foundation of the WNBA's entire season, but as soon as she caused discomfort for everyone, she was dismissed. They are startled that the energy has vanished after envy drove the conversation and let bias control the headlines. You can't profit from someone's fame and then act as though she doesn't exist. When your championship appears to be a matinia, you cannot expect larger TV contracts. It's a warning shot, not just a lousy look. Fans didn't come for corporate PR. They came for Caitlin Clark. It was fire, not politics, that drew them. They didn't come to whine. They came to compete. And this new era that the WNBA brags about will crumble under its own pride unless it learns that lesson. The goal of the finals was to demonstrate the success of women's basketball. Rather, they demonstrated the illusion's true fragility. One player was the center of all the excitement, chatter, and sold-out arenas. Additionally, the league appears to be in disarray now that she has left. Perhaps Asia Wilson ought to pose a different query rather than placing the blame on Caitlin Clark. Without Caitlin Clark, will the WNBA continue to exist? Tell us in the comments section below. To ensure you never miss anything, like, subscribe, and enable all notifications. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the following.